All right, I gave you this task and I've edited a bit, and it says that we must identify the homologous series to which each of the following belongs. You must also write the general formula or the structural formula or the condensed or the molecular formula. So we'll kind of see how we'll answer that. Okay, let us just start with this table that has got 6 organic compounds. Okay, so they say identify the homologous series. This one you guys must be able to do, and you must also be able to write the general formula that corresponds to the homologous series. If you can, you are supposed to write the structural formula as well as the condensed structural formula. You are also required to write the molecular formula as well. Okay, so let's just try to do that for each of the following organic compounds so that you can see if we understand the basics. When you look at compound A, to what homologous series does this belong? What homologous series?
I would like to say haloalkane.
Okay, you raise your hand. Indeed, it is a haloalkane. Why?
So because it's like a carbon and a hydrogen bonded to a halogen chlorine.
Yes, guys, when there's a presence of a halogen, remember, guys, the halogen elements, we're talking about the elements found in group 7, on the periodic table, elements such as chlorine, fluorine, iodine, as well as bromine. So if you look at compound A, the fact that compound A, it has got the presence of a halogen, in this case, which is Cl, this already tells you that this is a haloalkane. So basically, the halogen is the functional group for the haloalkane. So we can say this is the haloalkane. And then for the haloalkane, guys, did we talk about any general formula? What is the general formula of a haloalkane?
So it's CnH CnH2n plus 1 plus X.
And X. Yes, guys, this is the general formula for a haloalkane. Although it is not examinable, or although most of the times they will never ask you in an exam question, but a haloalkane follows this general formula that says the number of hydrogen atoms in it is 2 times the number of carbon atoms plus 1, and then there's also an X, whereby the X represents the halogen atom. But this is not for examination purposes. They will never ask you the general formula for this haloalkane. Okay, what about the molecular formula? Now I want the molecular formula of this compound. How do we do the molecular formula then?
So you draw a C.
You draw what?
A carbon.
You write a C, and then
you do the 3 Cooper lines, like on the top and the bottom and the left side.
3 Cooper lines. We're talking about a molecular formula right now. We're looking for a molecular formula.
Oh, yes, I made a mistake. Sorry, sir.
Yes, Sam.
Well, sir, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 carbons. And
yes. So you count the number of all. You count the number of all the atoms present. For example, when you look at compound number 1, we've got carbon. We start with carbon always. You count the number of carbons present, and in this case, we've got 7 carbons. If you count them manually, we can count them. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we are having 7 carbons in this. Let me just mute Masande. She has got background sound. Okay, so we have got 7 carbons in this in this compound. And then what about the number of hydrogens? Same, continue. Yes, no.
13, 18.
So we have got
14, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? Okay, let's count them one by one, guys. Here is written CH3, so we've got 3 hydrogens here. This is written CH2, so we've got 2 hydrogens here, so that's a 3 plus 2 is 5. Here we've got 1 hydrogen, that is going to be what? That is going to be 6 hydrogens. Here we've got 2 hydrogens, that's going to be 6 plus 2, that's going to be 8 hydrogens. Here we've got 3 hydrogens, that's going to be 8 plus 3, that's going to be 11 hydrogens. Here we have got 1 hydrogens, that's going to be 12 hydrogens. Here we have got 3 hydrogens, that's going to be 12 plus 3, and 12 plus 3 will give us what?
15.
Yes, 15, guys. So we have got 15 hydrogens in total. You just count the number of carbons and the number of hydrogens. And is our molecular formula complete, guys?
No.
What is missing, Orif?
Chlorine.
The chloro, the Cl there. Guys, even if you don't really count the number of hydrogens, because you know the general rule, it says H2N plus 1. Since you have got 7 carbons in compound A, you can just say 2 times the number of carbon, which is 7, plus 1. And 2 times 7 is 14. 14 plus 1 will give you what? Will give you 15 hydrogens. Because the general formula, it is there to help you to find out what is the molecular formula. Are you guys catching up with me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so that's the molecular formula. It's fine. Let's not do the condensed one for this one. Let's not do the condensed one just for purposes. Let's look at compound B, guys. I just want the homologous series of this one. What is the homologous series? Compound B, this one. Yes, no?
So I think it's alkanes.
Alkanes. Give a reason for your answer. Why would you say it's an alkane?
Say you say B or C.
B, compound B.
Or say B. I don't know the answer for B.
Orifa,
So is it not an alcohol?
why would you assume alcohol?
Because it ends in a O.
Yes, it ends in an all. Guys, when I introduced this homologous series, I was very careful. I told you how to identify the homologous series whenever you are given the name of the organic compound. Didn't I say that, no? Didn't I explain that?
You said it too.
Yes, we did. And I even mentioned, guys, that when you've got alcohols, their names end with an OL at the end. They end with an OL to show that it's an alcohol. So even when you are given the name of the organic compound, you are able to identify the homologous series by looking at the suffix of the name, or you are able to identify the homologous series by looking at the last part of the name. So you guys must be able to identify the homologous series just from the name. You don't really need to be given a structural formula. I know we have not started with naming yet, but I just wanted to test if you guys went through the stuff that I gave you. And it clearly shows that some of you didn't. Guys, when you are given a name of an organic compound, the last part of the name, aka the suffix of the name, it is the one that gives you an idea of the homologous series to which that organic compound belongs. And in this case, the last part of the name is OL. It's all. That's the one that you use, is all. So this all at the end, it already tells us that these are alcohols. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, guys, you need to take your work more seriously now. Please, whenever we are done with the session, you go through the work again and you make sure that you understand it again so that you don't make these mistakes. Okay, what about the general formula for alcohols? What is the general formula for alcohols?
CnH2n plus 1 plus OH.
Okay, plus 1 OH. So this is one notation of writing the general formula for alcohols. Yes, or if I don't forget to raise your hands as well when you answer questions. What is another way of writing the general formula for alcohols? What is another way, guys, that I told you of writing the general formula for alcohols? Yes, Orifa?
So is it not CnH2n H2N plus 2.
Alone.
OH.
O alone. Like this.
You put
So guys,
the O alone too.
yes, the O alone. So guys, the general formula of an alcohol can either be given in this notation, the first one that says CN H2N plus 1 OH, or it can be given as CN H2N plus 2 O. Okay, both of them, they can still work for you to find your molecular formula. All right, let me hear what is the, give me them. Okay, this one, okay, I don't need the molecular formula. What else can I look for in this one? Okay, it's fine. Let's just identify these two. It's fine for this compound B. Okay, go to compound C. Tell me the homologous series. What is the homologous series to which compound C belong? Can you identify just by looking at it? Yes, no?
It's another alkane. The alkanes.
Okay, no says it's an alkane. Let's hear someone else. No, I think you are assuming you didn't draw the structure. Let's hear Nonkuleo.
Yes, I think my alkynes.
Okay, why?
Because siyabona lapha the C labo C laba abanabo abo H okushuthi yo kunama triple bar angazi ngilanga aziyo.
Okay, you guys are assuming, and that's a bad thing. Guys, when you're given a condensed formula, you are not able to see the functional group, guys. Yes, Dahazo.
I want to say alkyne also because of the same thing that.
How did you? The three C's.
I drew it first.
Yes, guys, the first thing that you do when you are given a condensed structural formula, we talked about a condensed structural formula when we began. When you are given a condensed structural formula, you need to first write the structural formula, the normal structural formula that shows all the lines. If you've got something like this, guys, you cannot be able to identify the homologous series. Yes, it's fine. Other people are able to identify it right from this, but you guys must be able to see the bonds. Don't assume, guys, that this is an alkane without drawing the structural formula. Guys, you know how to change from structural formula to condensed formula, right?
Yes,
Okay, let's draw it. So the first part is saying CH3. What does this mean? CH3. If I was to draw this first part of this condensed formula, what am I going to draw? Yes, Orif?
1 carbon with 3 hydrogen.
1 carbon bonded to 3 hydrogens. So this is 1 carbon bonded to 3 hydrogens. First, write the structural formula, okay? And then I'm done with the CH3 part. After the CH3 part, what is following here? I've got a CH. Do you guys see the CH here?
yes,
Yes, so this means that this carbon will be bonded to another carbon that is bonded to a hydrogen. And now, after this CH, I'm seeing a bracket CH3. How do I draw this bracket CH3? What does this mean, or how do I explain it? How do I draw it? Yes, Nonkuleo.
It's a branch.
Yes, it means that the carbon will not be in the same line as the other carbons, okay? It will not be in the same lines as the other carbons. So instead, I would draw it as a side carbon, a carbon that will go to the side. And this carbon has got 3 hydrogens. This carbon has got 3 hydrogens. So whenever, guys, you see the CH3, this CH3 in a bracket, it simply means that this is a carbon that is not in the same line as the other carbons that you are drawing. Okay, are we guys together there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, and then after the CH3, what follows?
CC, carbon.
So we've got a carbon, then a carbon. So it's a carbon. Okay, and then after that there is a CH3. There is a carbon bonded to 3 hydrogens. Now tell me what is wrong with this structural formula that we just drew right now. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it, guys? Yes.
The
Yes,
bond
Tahato,
between
you raise your hand,
atom.
Nonkulego, you raise your hand. Yes, Tahato.
Sorry, sir.
Yes, Tahato, what's wrong with the structural formula? Okay, Nonkulego, you can answer because Tahato is silent.
Oh, sir, I was saying, see, the bonds between the C atoms, they must be 4 in total, but we have 1.
Yes, guys. So if we draw this this condensed formula, this CCC, I'm sure we draw the CCC following each other in this way. But now the problem is when we are done drawing this condensed formula, drawing it into a structural formula, we realize that some of the carbons here, they do not have 4 bonds completely. Guys, when I introduced this topic, I told you that each and every carbon atom must be surrounded by 4 bonds in total. 4 bonds. When we look at this carbon here, can you guys all see this carbon?
Yes, sir.
How many bonds does it have?
Oh,
It has got 2 bonds. Is it complete? Is it supposed to have 2 bonds in total?
No.
No. So, okay, this is the first one. What about the next carbon? This carbon that is bonded to it, which I'm highlighting in green. This one. Is it supposed? How many bonds is surrounding it? Is 2 as well. So you see, guys, that both this carbon that has got a red on top of it and this carbon with a green on top of it, they've got only 2 bonds surrounding them. And we know that each and every carbon atom must make 4 bonds in total. So how can we fix that now?
So make the bonds a triple bond.
Yes. So it actually means that these 2, they've got a triple bond. So we actually put 2 more bonds on top of them so that they can have 4 bonds in total. So now you can see that it balances out because now this carbon, which had only 2 bonds according to how we wrote our structural formula, it had only 2 bonds, but now we have increased by 2 bonds so that both of these would have 4 bonds in total surrounding them. Even if you count them, guys, the lines here, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4. So this carbon that I'm highlighting here, it has got 4 bonds around it now because we've added 2 more bonds between these 2 carbons. Are we guys together?
Yes, sir.
Are you guys going to have a problem with writing structural formulas?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll give you an exercise again. Now I've already decided. Now I can see you guys still need more practice. I'll give you an exercise of converting structural formula to condensed again. We cannot get to naming if you guys cannot do this. Okay, all right. So now we have drawn our structural formula. Now tell me the homologous series to which this compound belongs to and give a reason why. Yes, Orifa.
Sir, are we still doing question C?
Yes, we're still doing C. We just wrote its structural formula so that we can find out the homologous series. Now tell the homologous series to which this belongs.
Alkyne.
Yes, it's an alkyne. Give a reason for your answer.
There's a triple bond between the carbons.
Yes, guys, the functional group for an alkyne is a triple bond. So whenever you see a triple bond between 2 carbon atoms, then you can now say that that is an alkyne. So you can now say that your homologous series there is an alkyne. And then now that you have got the homologous series, give its general formula. What is the general formula for alkynes? What is the general formula? Yes, Orif?
CnH2n minus 2.
So it's CnH2n minus 2. Okay, that's the what? That's the general formula. This is just the general formula for alkynes. What about the molecular formula of this compound C? Let's see, Nogu. What's the molecular formula for compound 2? This compound C, njalo.
So can you please repeat the question?
What is the molecular formula for compound C? Someone
So you
help
mean
me, please.
the name of the...
No, what is the molecular formula? Anyone else who wants to help? Guys, how did you say we find the molecular formula? Nonkuleo.
It's not a 2-pentine.
No, we're not looking for the name. We're looking for the molecular formula. How do we figure out the molecular formula? Nonkuleo.
Sizosebenzisa le formula leya CnH2n minus 2. Last one gonna n, so substitute the number of carbons that we have, and we have 6 carbons. Is C6 and then H2n. Anga calculate it.
Okay, Nonkulego says that you can use the general formula, but guys, by the definition of a molecular formula, how can we find the molecular formula using this structural formula? What is the molecular formula? Let me ask again, because I did this as an introduction. You guys claim to understand. What did I say a molecular formula is? Let's hear Orif.
A molecular formula is the specific atoms in an element and how many of each atom there are in the molecule. Sorry, not element, molecule.
Yes, guys, a molecular formula shows you the atoms in the molecule, and it also tells you the number of those atoms. So you guys go and look at this molecule, this organic molecule, to say that we have got carbon atoms in this organic molecule. So you're going to write C for carbon, and then now you count the number of carbon atoms within that molecule. Guys, you can even do a manual count. You don't always have to use the general formula. A molecular formula, guys, is simply, for example, if I say H2O, this is a molecular formula because it is telling you that this molecule, it has got 2 hydrogens and what? And 1 oxygen. So the molecular formula always gives you the total number of each and every atom that you have in the organic molecule. So when you are looking at this organic molecule that we have drawn that we have written its molecular, its structural formula, how do we figure out the molecular formula, guys? A simple thing. You count the number of carbons, the total number of carbons. What is the total number of carbons here on compound C?
6.
We have got 6 carbons, guys. The total, you count them one by one. We've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3, we've got 4, we've got 5, we've got 6. You count them, guys. It's not like you are a fool when you're counting. That is the molecular formula. That's the definition of the molecular formula. So you need to count each and every one. We have got 6 carbons. That's what you write on the carbon part. What about the number of hydrogens? What is the number of hydrogens that we have?
10.
We've got 10, guys. We've got 10. Okay, so you count them manually. We've got 10 hydrogen atoms. So these are H10. What else do we have? Do we have any other atom besides carbon and hydrogen?
No.
No, we don't have any other one. So this is the complete molecular formula for the compound. When we're talking about a molecular formula, you simply write the element symbol. For example, the symbol for carbon is C. Then after writing the element symbol, you count the total number of that of the atoms of that element. For example, here we've got 6 total carbons, so we write C6. We have got 10 total carbons, so we write H10. So you can either count them manually or you can use the general formula, guys. If you want to use the general formula, as Nonkululego said that the general formula, since we know that this compound is an alkyne, the general formula is CnH2n H2N minus 2. So what does this general formula mean? It means that the number of hydrogen atoms, for you to get the number of hydrogen atoms, you need to multiply the number of carbon atoms by 2, then you subtract 2 from them. For example, here, when you count the number of carbon atoms, we have got 6 carbon atoms, okay? We have got 6 carbon atoms indeed. So this is C6. To work out the number of hydrogen atoms of this molecule, you say 2 times the number of carbon atoms, which is 6 minus 2. And 2 times 6 is 12. 12 minus 2 is equals to what? Is equals to 10. So this will give you C6H10. So do you see, guys, that you can still obtain the same molecular formula when you are using the general formula? But if you guys cannot use the general formula, for now, I'm saying to you that you should manually count the number of carbon atoms, count the number of hydrogen atoms. If they are oxygen atoms, also count them. Are we guys together?
Yes.
Can you guys hear me properly, God?
Yes.
Yes, guys, please don't mix up these formulas. When I tell you of molecular formula, you guys must know automatically that I'm talking about a formula that consists of each and every atom that is present in the molecule and the number of that atom. Are we guys together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please don't make such mistakes. And let's go to D. D, I want you guys, because we are given a structural formula already, we don't want to complicate things. I want you guys to tell me what is the homologous series of compound D. Look at the compound properly and try to find what is the functional group that is present in this compound D. And then after finding the functional group, now you can now tell us what type of compound is this. I told you guys the functional group of each and every compound, all the way from alkanes until esters. So let's hear from Nonkululeko. What is the homologous series to which compound D belong?
Aldehyde.
Okay, Nonkululeko says it's aldehydes. Do you guys all see that? And no, Noma, you don't see that?
Yes, so we agree.
Okay, why do you say it's aldehydes? That's the question.
Because there is a formal group.
There is a formal group, guys, and I described, guys, that a formal group, how does a formal group look like? A formal group is a carbon that is double bonded to an oxygen. Yes, but that carbon that is double bonded to an oxygen, it is bonded to a hydrogen next to it. Okay, so it's a carbon double bonded to an oxygen, and then that carbon is bonded to a hydrogen next to it. Guys, even if we go back to the slides that I used here to explain aldehydes, to say that the formal group, how do you guys identify it, or how does it look like? I told you guys that whenever you see a carbon atom that is double bonded to an oxygen atom and that carbon is single bonded to another hydrogen, then you can say that is a functional group for aldehydes. That is why most of the times we write it as CHO to show that we have got a carbon that is double bonded to an oxygen as well as a hydrogen. That's how I explained, guys, the aldehydes functional group. So when you look at this compound that is provided here, in this case, the compound that is provided, which is compound D, you do have that, guys. Do you all guys see the carbon that is double bonded to oxygen here? Do you guys see that?
Yes, sir.
And the
Yes,
next,
sir.
and this carbon, this same carbon that is double bonded to oxygen, what is it single bonded to? To a hydrogen here, guys. That's a formal group. A formal group, we say it is CHO because we've got a carbon, we've got a combination of carbon and hydrogen and oxygen. Those three all together makes up a what? A formal group. And this formal group is a functional group. It is what helps us to identify that this organic molecule, it belongs to the aldehydes as the homologous series. Are we together, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Guys, take your time when you're doing these homeworks. Don't just guess. Take your time when you're doing the homeworks. Look at previously what we've done, because when we do lessons, I tell you to ask questions if you don't understand, and you guys seem to understand for that moment only. Please look at the questions again. Now here we can say that our homologous series is aldehydes, because we can see a formyl group. How do we see that this is a formyl group? It's a carbon that is double bonded to an oxygen. There is a carbon double bonded to an oxygen that is single bonded to a hydrogen atom. So this is a formyl group. This is how a formyl group looks like. And then what about the general formula, guys, for the aldehydes? What is the general formula? Yes, Orif?
So it's CnH2nO.
Is CnH2nO. So it means that for each and every aldehyde, the number of hydrogen atoms is double the number of carbon atoms. That's why there is a H2N there. So whenever you've got a certain number of carbon atoms, to find or to obtain the number of hydrogen atoms, you multiply the carbon atoms by 2. If we've got only 2 carbon atoms, we're going to have 4 hydrogen atoms, but we're also going to have an oxygen in that particular aldehyde. Are we guys together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now give me the molecular formula for this compound. No, I want you to give me the molecular formula. I want this one for you specifically. What is the molecular formula for compound D? Look at it carefully. I'm giving you enough time. 1 minute. Think about it. How can we find the molecular formula for compound D?
Yes, so you count the number of carbon, carbons and hydrogen.
We start with carbon. How many carbons are there? We write C first. Well, how many carbons are there here?
5, so
We've got 5 carbons. You count them manually. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons. In total, in this entire compound, in this entire aldehyde, we have got 5 carbons. So you also count the number of hydrogens. Count the number of hydrogen. How many hydrogens do we have?
10, so
We have got 10 hydrogens. So we've got C5 and H10. Is our molecular formula complete?
no, so
What is missing?
the oxygen.
The oxygen, because this is not only having carbon and hydrogen, it is also having an oxygen atom here, this O here. Do you guys see that this corresponds to our general formula?
Yes, sir.
Yes. This is corresponding, this molecular formula is corresponding to our general formula, because the number of hydrogen atoms is 2 times or is double the number of carbon atoms. For example, here we've got 5 carbon atoms, so we are going to have, we have 10 hydrogen, so it's like 2 times. For all aldehydes, that's how it is. Okay, so molecular formula, guys, I repeat, for you to find the molecular formula, you count the total number of each and every atom there. For example, we've got carbon as the main atom there, and there are 5 of them. We've got hydrogen as the second atom, there are 10 of them. Then we've got an oxygen, and it's only 1. That's why here you don't write any subscript such as 1, because it's only 1 oxygen there. So that's your molecular formula. Okay, quickly, guys, before we get to a break, E. Give me the homologous series to which E belongs.
It's a ketone, sir.
It's a ketone. What's the reason for that, Tahat?
It ends with 1.
Yes, it ends with an ONE at the end. So you look at the name. When you're provided with a name, what do? You look at the suffix of the name, or the last part of the name. The last part of a name is ONE. So this shows that this is a what? This is a ketone. Okay. And the general formula for a ketone, what is it? Yes, Nonkuleo.
It is the same as the one of aldehyde.
Okay, you can say it, yeah.
CnH2nO.
So this is CnH2n Oh, so for this one, I will not ask you the molecular formula because we haven't started with the naming part yet. All right. Okay. So, all right. For the last part, for the last compound, guys, I don't know. Maybe how should I ask this? Hey, okay, it's a tricky one to ask. Okay, guys, what can you say about compound F? What can you see about compound F? I just want what you can see. Simply what you can see. I'm not asking any specific question. This compound F, it is written CXHY. What do you think about this compound, Nogu?
So I think it's an alkane. I don't know. I think so.
But it can also be an alkene, can also be an alkyne. So how can we just put them all together? Or yeah, but something like that. Dahazo?
So it might be a hydrocarbon.
Okay, not that it might be. It is a hydrocarbon actually. Give a reason for your answer. Okay, before you give a reason, do you all guys see that even if you don't know what is X, even if you don't know what is X, which is the number of carbon atoms, even if you don't know what is Y, which is the number of hydrogen atoms, this is definitely a hydrocarbon. How can you justify that, guys? Do you all see that this is a hydrocarbon?
Yes.
Yes, Nogu, how can you justify that?
Because an organic compound contains carbon and hydrogen only.
Yes, even if you don't know the number of the carbon atoms present in that particular compound, even if you don't know the number of hydrogen atoms present in this organic compound, but what you can definitely see is that the only elements or the only atoms that are found in this compound, it is the carbon, which is C, and then the hydrogen, which is H. So even if you don't know what is X, what is Y, what is the number of carbons or what is the number of hydrogens, this can definitely be classified as a what? As a hydrocarbon. So this hydrocarbon is not really a homologous series, guys. A hydrocarbon is not a homologous series. I just wanted to put this format so that you guys get used to analyzing things. This is a hydrocarbon. It might be okay, guys, give me 3 examples of organic compounds that are hydrocarbons. 3 examples of organic compounds that are hydrocarbons.
Okay.
Yes, Savage Lehotle.
Okay.
Alkanes can be hydrocarbons. What about Orifa?
So alkenes.
Alkenes are also hydrocarbons. What else is a hydrocarbon?
Alkyne.
Alkynes as well, guys. So before we even started this topic, guys, I told you that the alkanes, alkynes, like when we started this topic, I classified that the alkanes, and the alkynes, all of them, they are known as what? As hydrocarbons, because they do contain hydrogen, and then they also contain carbon atoms. They only have hydrogen and carbon atoms in them. You will never see an oxygen within an alkane. Are we guys together on that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, so alkanes, alkenes, and alkynes, all of these 3 groups of organic compounds, they are all hydrocarbons, meaning that they all contain or they all consist of only hydrogen and carbon atoms. All right, so let's go to this exercise. This will be the last exercise before we can start naming. Oh, I think there's still another one. All right, but I want you guys to be able to identify here. Okay, identify the homologous series to which compound A belong. Can you guys see the homologous series to which compound A belong?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You raise your hand as well. Yes, Nogu?
It's a carboxylic acid.
Okay, and Nogu says it's a carboxylic acid. What about Savage? What do you say?
Ketone. Ketone.
It's a ketone. What about others? Who else says something different? Okay, so first of all, guys, this one is not a complete structural formula. Let us just rewrite it as a complete structural formula. Yes, Savage. Okay, you're no longer raising your hand, it's fine. So guys, this is CH3, so it means we've got a carbon that has got 3 hydrogens. CH3, a carbon that has got 3 hydrogens. Then we've got a carbon, which is CH2, this is CH2, so it's a carbon that is bonded to 2 hydrogens. And then after that, what do we have? We have a carbon that is double bonded to an oxygen. So we have a carbon that is double bonded to an oxygen, and then after that we've got a carbon that is single bonded to 3 hydrogens. Now my question again, let me ask again, guys, so that you guys can have time. Look at this carefully, this structural formula that I've drawn here. Okay, the structural formula of this organic compound, because remember that here it's written as CH3, so we are rewriting it, or we are drawing it, showing these lines, showing the bonds. Now I ask again, Nogu, which homologous series does this compound belong?
The ketone, sir.
Why do you say it's a ketone?
It contains a carbon. It has a carbon in the middle, sir.
Okay, a carbon with the what? Let's be a bit specific. A carbon in the middle. Yes, the carbon that has got a double bond oxygen is in the middle of 2 other carbons, and we say that is known as a what? That is known as a carbonyl group. The functional group of ketones is known as a carbonyl group. How do we see the carbonyl group, guys? So we have got a carbon that is double bonded to an oxygen. This is a carbon double bonded to oxygen. Do you guys all see the carbon double bonded to oxygen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, guys, you don't guess the homologous series, guys. I always told you that different organic compounds, how do we differentiate between different organic compounds? You look at the functional group, because each and every homologous series, it has got its specific or its unique functional group. You will never hear me saying that a carboxylic acid and ketones have the same functional group. No, because each and every homologous series, it consists of a unique functional group. So in this case, this functional group that we are able to identify in compound A is a carbon double bonded to an oxygen. But the question is, you already know, guys, that ketones and aldehydes, they are similar to one another, because all of them, they've got a carbon double bonded to an oxygen. The question is, this carbon that is double bonded to an oxygen, where is it located? That's how we're going to differentiate. And when you look at it carefully, this carbon that is double bonded to an oxygen, it is bonded to 2 other carbons next to it. Or you can say that it is in the middle of 2 other carbons, or it is bonded to 2 other carbons. That's how you identify the carbonyl group, which is the functional group for all ketones. Even if we go back, guys, to the slide that way when I introduced what a ketone, how do you see the carbonyl group? The carbonyl group, you will see it by looking at a carbon that is double bonded to an oxygen, this one. Do you guys all see that it's a carbon that is double bonded to an oxygen? But this carbon that is double bonded to an oxygen is bonded to 2 other carbons next to it, or it is in the middle of 2 other carbons. Do you guys all understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Guys, don't guess the homologous series. Take your time, look carefully, because even when you get to the naming part, you will need to know the homologous series. So if you guys cannot identify the homologous series, you're going to have a bit of a struggle when it comes to naming compounds. Because when you're naming compounds, you need to, the first thing that you do from a structural formula, you identify the homologous series to which this belong. And guys, how do you see the homologous series, or how do you identify the homologous series? You look at the functional group. You look at the functional group that is provided in that particular compound. And in this case, we've got a carbon double bond oxygen, but that carbon double bond oxygen is in between 2 other carbons. or it is bonded to 2 other carbons next to it. Who doesn't see that, guys? Do you all see that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, guys, next time do not guess compounds. You look at the functional group. That is why I always emphasized in the previous lessons what is the importance of knowing what a functional group is. So this homologous series is a ketone, and I will not ask the general formula anymore because I've already told you the general formula. Now I want you guys to give me the molecular formula of compound A. What is the molecular formula? Let's hear it. Guys, what is the molecular formula of compound A?
CNH.
C what?
NO.
C what? CN.
H.
I'm asking for the molecular formula, not the general one. Molecular formula. Yes, Nobu?
Okay.
So say you count the number of carbons and hydrogens.
Do it practically and give me the molecular formula.
Okay, C is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons,
Mm-hmm.
and H is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hydrogens
8 hydrogens
and 1 oxygen.
and 1 oxygen. So this is the complete molecular formula. Guys, the general formula, it is the one that you write as CnH2nO because it is general. It applies to all compounds of that homologous series. All right. This applies to all ketones, but the molecular formula, it is specific for this compound, guys. This compound that I've given you, when I ask of the molecular formula, you are supposed to look at the carbons. How many carbon atoms do you have? We have got 4. You move on from the carbon atoms, you go to the hydrogen atoms. How many hydrogen atoms do we have? We have 8, so that's H8. And then you look if there are any other atoms besides carbon and nitrogen. Here there is also an oxygen. That's why this is C4H8O. Can you guys all hear me when I say what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to B, guys, quickly. Let's go to B. You were supposed to do this as an activity, by the way. Okay, B, we are given okay, what are we given, guys, at B? Is it a structural formula, or is it a condensed formula, or is it a molecular formula? What are we given at B? Yes, Nonkule.
Condensed formula.
Yes, it's a condensed formula. So now my question will be, to which homologous series does compound B belong? Nonkule.
Okay.
Okay.
What?
An alkane.
Alkanes. But first, how can you figure that out? Yes, no, you are raising your hand.
No, sir, you can continue.
Okay, so guys, if you cannot see that this is an alkane from the get-go, the condensed formula, guys, it's a bit condensed. You cannot fully see all the bonds because, guys, for you to be able to identify the functional group, you need to be able to see all the bonds and the lines there. So in this case, the best thing is to draw the structural formula, guys. Draw the structural formula. If we draw the structural formula for this one, this is CH3. The first part of this condensed formula is CH3. So it means this is a carbon bonded to 3 hydrogens. First, draw it and make sure that it's a clear structural formula. It's a carbon bonded to 3 hydrogens. Then after that, what follows, we've got a carbon that is bonded to 1 hydrogen because this is CH. Do you guys all see the CH? This one, CH. Do you guys see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, but there is a CH3, guys. This CH3, and it's in a bracket. What did we say the bracket is for?
Is the what is it called? The one that is alone, sir. It's the
Yes.
side, but it's
It's a side chain, so you don't draw the carbon in the same line as the other carbons. Okay, rather you draw this carbon in a different line. You actually make it go to the side. So this is C having H, having H, having H. So after the CH3, guys, after the CH3, we've got a CH2 there, so it's a carbon that is bonded to two hydrogens. Can you see, guys, that we've got a carbon that is bonded to two hydrogens?
yes, sir.
And then after the CH2, we've got a CH3. So at the end, we've got a CH3 at the end. So it means that we've got a carbon that is bonded to three hydrogens. This is the CH3 part. So when we write there, there's going to be a carbon bonded to three hydrogens. So do you guys see the complete structural formula for compound B?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I want to hear from you guys. What is the homologous series of this compound B now?
Of this one, sir, the one,
Yes.
it's in alkane
Why?
because it only has single bonds and contains carbon and hydrogen.
It has got single bonds between carbon atoms, specifically between carbon atoms. Okay, and it's also a hydrocarbon. It also only has got carbon and hydrogen atoms only. Spot on. Okay, what is the molecular formula for this compound, guys? What is the molecular formula? Yes, no.
Yes, sir. It's the number of carbons, which is 5, and the number of hydrogens, which are 12.
Okay, so it's C5H12. So that's the molecular
Let's say
formula.
plus 2, sir.
Plus 2.
No, sir. Or the molecular formula only. Okay, sir.
Yes, I just wanted the molecular formula. It's specific to this compound. You count the number of carbons, you count the number of hydrogens. Okay, so to minimize wastage of time, let's complete this activity, guys, so that we can introduce naming. Okay, what about C, guys? To which homologous series does compound C belong? Yes, Nongule.
Haloalkane.
Haloalkane. So the homologous series to which that belong is haloalkane. What is the reason?
We can see there are halogens here.
Yes, can you guys? Yes, can you guys all see the halogens that we have here in compound C?
Yes, sir.
Yes, there's a bromine, there's a chlorine there. So we've got 2 halogens there. So this is a haloalkane. Okay, there's nothing much that I want from this one as well. Give me the molecular formula for the compound. What is the molecular formula? Count it and just give me all of it in total.
So the carbons are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbons.
So how are you going to write it? Just give me how you're gonna write it in the book.
It's C. And the number of hydrogens is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10 hydrogens. Are there 10 hydrogens, guys?
11.
11 hydrogens. Confirm, guys. Let's confirm together. Here, this is 2 hydrogens. Do you guys see the H2 here? Do you guys all see the H2 here at the beginning where I'm highlighting H2C?
Yes, sir.
So we've got 2 hydrogens here. 2 hydrogens. Do you guys here see that it's written 2 here as the subscript? Or let me zoom in. Maybe you guys cannot see properly. Do you guys see it's written here on compound number C? It's written H2. Do you guys see the subscript 2 there?
Yes.
So it means these are two hydrogens bonded to this carbon. You need to consider the two, guys. You cannot just count them as if the two doesn't exist. The two there, it tells you that we're having two hydrogens bonded to the carbon. So this is two hydrogens. This is plus another two hydrogens here on this carbon number 2. Do you guys see the other two hydrogens on carbon number 2?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, so this is 2 plus 2. And then there's one hydrogen here on carbon number 3. The carbon that has got a chlorine there. The carbon number 3, there's one hydrogen. Do you guys see that?
Yes.
So this is now 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. Now we go to this carbon on top. This is written CH3. Do you guys see where this little hand is? CH3. Do you guys see the CH3 there? Yes, that's plus 3 hydrogens. And then this is plus 1 hydrogen. This is plus 3 hydrogen. What is the total there, guys? 3, 4, 4 plus 3 is 12 in total. Guys, these subscripts, they mean the number of hydrogen atoms. This subscript, this 2 here, this small anyana 2 that you see next to the hydrogen, it tells you that there are 2 hydrogen atoms bonded to the carbon. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so here we counted and we found out that here we're having what? Is it 12? What is the total that you guys got? 12, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you are also having a Br and a Cl. Do you guys see that you're having a bromine and a chlorine there?
Yes.
Yes. Which one do you write first, Br or Cl?
Yes.
Which one do you write first and why?
Alphabetical
Because,
order.
If you go alphabetical order, guys, you need to remember that bromo comes first, B comes first if you go alphabetical order. But usually the haloalkanes that they will give you to do the molecular formula of, they won't have 2 halogens. But for this one, we've got C6 carbons, 12 hydrogens, 1 bromine, 1 chlorine. What about D, guys? What is the homologous series to which this belongs? What can you figure out if you draw the structural formula? Yes, Nonkulero.
It's a carboxylic acid.
Okay, let's draw it first. So we are having CH3 because this is a condensed formula, guys. There is no line that is showing the bonds. We are having CH3 there. Can I draw the CH3 first? Yes, or if what's your question? Okay, there is no question there. So there is a CH3, and then this CH3 is bonded to a C.
So,
Yes.
my bad. I was muted. I muted myself. So I was asking, is it an alcohol?
You draw the structural formula first. You don't assume the compound or refer. You draw the structural formula. Whenever you are given a condensed formula or you are given something else that is not a structural formula, first draw the structural formula showing all the bonds and the lines there. Are we clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, so after this CH3, we've got a C here, the one that I've highlighted in blue. So we've got a C there. And then this C, guys, do you see that it is bonded to OOH? So this carbon, it is bonded to what? It is bonded to 2 oxygens. So essentially, that means that one of the oxygen must take a double bond and another one must take a single bond. Then we must have an H. Do you guys see this?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what compound is this, guys? Since we've written its structural formula completely, what compound is this? The homologous series to which it belongs.
So it's a carboxylic acid.
Yes, it's a carboxylic acid. Give a reason why do you say it's a carboxylic acid?
Because it contains OH and it's double bonded to the carbon is double bonded to oxygen and it contains OH.
Yes, but give a better name for that functional group. What is the name of this functional group, guys?
It's not carboxyl group.
Yes, it's carboxyl group. Carboxyl group. How do you see the carboxyl group? The carboxyl group, it has got a carbon. So we've got a what? We've got a carbon atom. This carbon atom that is double bonded to what? To an oxygen. And then this very same carbon atom that is double bonded to an oxygen, it is also bonded to an OH. It is also bonded to an OH group there. So it's known as a carboxyl group. So once you see the carboxyl group, the homologous series to which this belong, this is going to be a carboxylic acid. Okay, give me the molecular formula. What is the molecular formula?
It's 2 carbons C.
Okay, just okay, just call it the way you would write it in the book actually.
C2, sir.
C2
And H4.
H4
And O.
and O. O alone, only one oxygen.
Sir?
2, sir.
How many oxygens do you guys have in?
2.
We have got 2 oxygens, guys, in a carboxylic acid. All right, there are 2 oxygens. You count the number of each and every atom. That's why you need to take your time whenever you are answering such questions on organic chemistry. Take your time, look at it very carefully. We are having 2 oxygens, 2 carbons, 4 hydrogen atoms. That's the molecular formula. Let's finish up, guys. Let's go to E. What is to what homologous series does E belong? Give me the homologous series of E. What is yes, Dahazo?
So can I talk?
It's an alkyne, sir.
It's an alkyne. Yes, Sam, you can talk when you raise your hand. Okay, why do you say it's an alkyne, Dahazo?
It ends with Y and E.
Yes, the name ends with Y and E. So when you are given the name of the molecule and it ends with Y and E, you already know that's an alkyne. All right. And then that's all. I don't want anything else on that. And then the last compound, which is F, which is compound F. I want the homologous series to which this belong. Let's hear there from who's this? Sam?
Alcohol, sir.
It's an alcohol. Why do you say it's an alcohol, Sam?
Because we have OH, sir.
Because we've got a hydroxyl group. We call it hydroxyl group. When you look at compound F, guys, it is the one that we did. And when you look at compound F carefully, the functional group there, it is the OH. You're looking at the OH. Can you guys all see the OH there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so that's an alcohol. Okay, now I want to give you a follow-up question, Sam. What type of alcohol is F?
A primary alcohol, sir.
Really? Is it primary alcohol, guys? The types of alcohols that we had were primary, secondary, and tertiary, and we differentiated them. Let's hear Dahazo.
So it's secondary.
Why do you say secondary?
Oh no, it's tertiary because the C is bonded to two other carbons.
Guys, redefine what is a primary alcohol. Redefine the primary alcohol. What's a primary alcohol, Dahazo?
So it's an alcohol that is like the carbon is bonded to only one carbon. No, the OH is bonded to one carbon.
No, the carbon that is bonded to the OH is bonded to one other carbon. When it's a secondary alcohol, the carbon that is bonded to the OH is bonded to two other carbons. So when you want to see the type of alcohol, guys, you look carefully at the carbon bonded to the hydroxyl group. So in this case, when you look at this compound very carefully, this is the carbon, guys, that is bonded to the hydroxyl group. Let me zoom it in. Maybe you guys are not seeing properly or something. Do you guys see this yellow highlighted carbon? It is bonded to the OH group. Can you guys all see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you focus on the carbon bonded to the hydroxyl group. What do you do to this carbon? You look at how many other carbons is this yellow highlighted carbon bonded to. How many other carbon is this yellow carbon bonded to?
3.
2, sir.
2, guys. Where are you seeing 3, guys? Do you see? Guys, let's count them. You count them manual. That's why I say you need to look carefully. Don't guess. Count them manually. Here, this carbon. Let me rewrite this structure because you guys, I don't know why are you rushing and where are you rushing to? Because if you rush organic chemistry, guys, and you miss these basics, I'm spending a lot of time on basics because you guys must catch the basics so that you can understand naming, so that you can be able to name properly. You cannot be able to name properly if you cannot identify simple things such as the number of carbons. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes. We are focusing here. I've redrawn it so that you guys can see it properly. I've rewritten it. Okay. Now we have got this carbon, guys, this yellow highlighted carbon. It is the carbon that is bonded to the what? To the hydroxyl group. Here is the hydroxyl group. Here is the OH group, which is the functional group for what? For alcohols.
Alcohol.
This is the hydroxyl group. You focus on the carbon bonded to the OH group or the carbon bonded to the hydroxyl group. Now you look at it. How many other carbons is this carbon bonded to the OH group bonded to? How many other carbons are next to it in other simple terms?
2, sir.
2 other carbons, guys. You can see them clearly here. There is one carbon here to its left. There is one carbon here. This carbon here. There's another carbon here again to its right. So the carbon bonded to the hydroxyl group is bonded to 2 other carbons. So this qualifies it as a secondary alcohol. Don't guess, guys. Whenever you are told to look for the type of alcohol, you need to locate first the carbon bonded to the hydroxyl group. Then you look at it. What's next to it? How many other carbons are there? And in this case, there are 2 other carbons next to it. It's this one and the other one. Yes, Sam.
Oh, okay, sir. I thought that type of alcohol, it need to have a branch in order to be a secondary, sir.
No,
But now
guys.
I understand, sir.
Yes, the way I defined it to you guys when we did alcohols and we did examples, I told you you do what? You focus on the carbon that is bonded to the OH group. A secondary alcohol, the carbon bonded to the OH group is bonded to 2 other carbons. Are we guys together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, guys, please don't make such silly mistakes. You need to build so much on this basic, because if you don't understand this basic, naming is going to be very difficult. So here, this is a secondary alcohol. So I'm just going to write it with its type because I've asked the type as well. So this is a secondary alcohol. If they say give a reason for your answer, that's when you would start saying that the carbon bonded to the hydroxyl group is bonded to 2 other carbons. Are we together, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now for this alcohol, give me the molecular formula. I now want the molecular formula for the alcohol. Yes, no.
It's C4
Mm-hmm.
and H10.
Mm-hmm.
No, say an O.
And O, guys, you mentioned all the atoms that are present as C4, H10, and O. How else can you write it, guys? What is the other notation that you can use besides this one? This one is correct as well. It's still the correct molecular formula. What is the other one that you can use?
Hey Lapo, I know that you've been enjoying this wonderful video and most likely you've been enjoying watching this handsome face in front of you, but sorry ladies, I'm taken. I just here to tell you that Educate is on the road to 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. So please click the subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you get notifications whenever I post new videos. I want you guys to pass. Okay, so if you make my dream true, I reach 100k subscribers, I will make your dreams come true. I will even get you to varsity. I will get you with 7 distinctions. Yes.
Guys, you don't guess the molecular formula. Guys, there are 2 ways of finding molecular formula. It's either you count the number of carbon atoms, the number of hydrogen atoms, and the number of oxygen atoms, or you can use the general formula, guys. That's why the general formula is invented, for that purpose, because each and every alcohol, we know that the general formula, it has got 2 types of general formulas. It can be CN H2N plus 2O. Don't you guys remember me telling you about a general formula like this? No, I didn't mention it. Didn't I mention it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I mentioned, guys, that the general formula, you use it so that you can find the molecular formula. So it's either you count the number of carbon atoms and the number of hydrogen atoms and the number of oxygen atoms manually, or you can use the general formula, guys. When you look at this general formula, in this compound, we are having 4 carbons. So for us to find the number of hydrogen atoms, what can you do? You say it is 2 times the number of carbon atoms. It's 4 carbons. That's why it's 2 times 4. And then this is plus what? Plus 2. So 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 2 is going to be 10. That's why here we're allowed to say that the number of hydrogens is going to be 10. Because we already know that according to the general formula for all alcohols, as long as your organic molecule is an alcohol, guys, it will always abide to this general formula. And the general formula says that when we've got a certain number of carbon atoms, to find the number of hydrogen atoms, we multiply the carbon atoms by 2. Then we add 2 on top. For this compound, which is F, we had 4 carbons in it. We have 4 carbons if we count them manually. It's 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4. Can you all guys say that we have got 4 carbons in this compound F?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so we have got 4 carbons. To find the number of hydrogen atoms, even if you don't count them manually, you can say 2 times the number of carbon atoms, which is 4, plus 2. You get that we've got 10 hydrogens. And this is not complete because we also have got what? We also have got an oxygen there. That is why this formula that you have obtained here, it matches with the molecular formula that you find when you count the number of carbons, the number of hydrogens, and the number of oxygens. But when I explained to you guys about alcohols, if we go back to the slides based on alcohols, I explained to you that alcohols has got 2 general formulas. We can either use the one that says CnH2n plus 2O, or we can use this one that says CnH2n plus 1OH. Do you guys see that? Didn't we do this, guys? You can see that these are the slides that I used. These are the same notes that I used when we did the lessons. Didn't I say that the general formula of alcohols has got 2 ways of writing it? Didn't I mention it, guys? Yes, I did. But yes, I said it, but because you guys are lazy to study, that's where the problem is. If you guys do not study this thing, you will never understand it. And I explain it when there is time, during the class time, and you are allowed to ask questions. But you guys don't ask questions. You guys seem to understand. To me, you guys look like you're understanding when we're doing the sessions. But the problem is the discipline. You guys don't have discipline. You guys don't look at your work after this. I know, guys, that you're doing 7 subjects. I also did metric as well at some point in time. So it's not like it's something new that is starting with you. You are doing 7 subjects. Yes, I agree. But you must have discipline, guys, to make sure that whenever you are done with this work, you follow up. you go and practice. It's your responsibility. Okay, my responsibility is to make you guys to understand, but if you guys do not want to understand, that's going to be a problem. How do you get to want to understand? You need to have discipline. Go and read after this. You are sacrificing your sleep, guys, for the last time, because matric is your final high school year. This will determine where you go, even university. So if you guys start like holding back on matric at this position, you guys are gonna have a problem, because these are just the basics. It is very concerning that you guys are not following up on the work. The work you can always follow up. I also put videos, guys. I upload the videos immediately after the session, so you guys are supposed to follow up on the work, and failure to do so will land you in trouble. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, guys. So if you guys lack the discipline, I'm sorry, you cannot be helped. You can only be helped if you have got discipline and if you're willing to learn. And that means that even after the sessions that we do, you guys must follow up on your work. Because if you don't follow up on your work, it's going to land you in trouble. But anyways, we're not there. The other way of writing the general formula for alcohols, we can use this one. The first one is still correct, yes, but we can use another way. We can say CnH2n plus 1, then write OH. This is the general formula for what? For all alcohols. So if we have got 4 carbons for this alcohol, guys, we are having 4 carbons. So the number of carbons is 4. How do we obtain the number of hydrogens? It's written 2n plus 1, guys, here. So it means this is 2 times the number of carbon atoms plus 1. That will give us how many hydrogens we have. So here, if we count carefully, we can say this is 2 times 4. We have got 4 carbon atoms in this one. Then we say plus 1. 2 times 4 is 6. Plus 1 will give you what? Will give you 7. Do you guys kind of get the sense? Is it? Or 2 times 4 is 9 actually, Jalo. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So it can be C4H9, and then after that you just write an OH. Guys, this is the same molecular formula. This is the same thing. You can see, guys, that this molecular formula that we have obtained here, this one that says C4H9OH, it is the same as this one, guys. The only difference is that we just removed one hydrogen and we placed it next to oxygen. It is the same, guys. It shouldn't change, because if you count the number of carbons here, in the first molecular formula, we're having 4 carbons. Even on this one, we're also having 4 carbons. Do you guys see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What about the number of hydrogens, guys? What about the number of hydrogens? Is it different? Here, indeed, it's written 10 total hydrogens. So we're having 10 total hydrogens. When we look at the other molecular formula for the alcohol, we're having 9 hydrogens here. There is written 9. But there's another hydrogen, guys, next to the oxygen. Do you guys see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So essentially, there are 10 hydrogens here as well. And then there's also an oxygen as well here. There's also an oxygen. Even here, there's also an oxygen. So this is the same molecular formula, but it's just another way of writing it since it's an alcohol. Guys, the general formula, you use it to write the molecular formula if you cannot count manually. All right.
Yes, sir.
So the other way, you can say C4H9OH. And guys, let me tell you what, if they can just give you the molecular formula and say, they can just give you the molecular formula. For example, they just give you C4H9OH, and they can ask you to tell the homologous series. They can also tell you to draw the structural formula from this. So you guys must understand the molecular formulas and how they work. Okay, are we guys together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, for example, just before we look at our homework here, for example, if we have got let's just say I write C2H4, to which homologous series does this compound belong to? What homologous series? Look carefully. Look carefully, guys.
Alkynes.
Look carefully. I repeat. Okay, let me ask you. This formula that I've given you, what type of formula is it? Is it a structural? Is it a condensed? Or is it a molecular formula?
Molecular formula, sir.
Yes, you are given a molecular formula. Now tell me the homologous series to which this compound belongs.
An alkene.
Say that louder, whoever is talking.
Alkene, sir.
It's an alkene. How did you see that it's an alkene, Sam?
Because of it has single bonds and hydrogens, therefore on 2 carbons, sir.
No. I'm talking about this molecular formula, guys. C2H4. C2H4. Don't mind this. Don't mind the table next to it. The C2H4. Someone said it's an alkene. How did you see that it's an alkene? You are only given a molecular formula.
I think it is because inamba le ya ku C it is inamba le ya ku H it is double the number le ya ku C.
Yes, guys, the number of hydrogen atoms, we're having 4 of them. The number of carbon atoms, we're having 2 of them. What's the relationship there? We can clearly see that if we're having a certain number of carbon atoms, which is 2 in this case, the number of hydrogen atoms is double them, is 2 times 2. So we already know that generally that is the same thing as saying CnH2n. So we already know that whenever the number of carbon atoms is doubled here, when we want to find the hydrogen atoms, that is already an alkene. That's the general formula of an alkene. So even when you are just given a molecular formula C2H4, you guys must be able to identify that this is an alkene. How do you identify? You compare the number of carbon atoms and the number of hydrogen atoms. Are we guys together?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me give you this one. I will say that this is let's give you this one and say this is C4H8O. Look carefully, guys, at this molecular formula number 2, which is C4H8O, and tell me to which homologous series does this compound belong that has got this molecular formula C4H8O.
Alcohol.
I say do not guess, guys. You must be able to reason, guys. Whenever you want to get the correct answers, convince yourself by reminding yourself, Wuti, what I'm trying to think, is it really the same thing as what I've learned? I've already told you that, guys, alcohols, they've got CnH2n plus 2. When you compare to this, does it follow the same rule? Yes, no.
Can you say it's a carboxylic acid?
Why?
Because at the end it says an oxygen.
How many oxygens does a carboxylic acid have, guys? Let me repeat again. How many oxygens does a carboxylic acid have?
2.
2 oxygens, but here we only have got 1 oxygen. It cannot be a carboxylic acid. What else, guys, what else has got oxygen?
It's aldehyde, sir.
Yes, aldehydes, guys, we say that they've got a general formula CnH2nO. So it simply means that the number of hydrogen atoms is double, or it is twice the number of carbon atoms. And after that, there is 1 oxygen. And when you look at this molecular formula that is provided, we are having 4 carbons, we are having 8 hydrogens. The number of hydrogen atoms, guys, is clearly 2 times the number of carbon atoms. Don't you guys see that 8 is the double of 4? Or don't you guys see that 8 is 2 times 4? Are you guys not able to see that?
See, sir.
Yes, you can see it, Hangish. So this means that the number of hydrogen atoms is 2 times the number of carbon atoms. So this means that this is CnH2n, and there's also an oxygen there. One oxygen. You already know that it can either be an aldehyde or it can be a ketone. Because remember that aldehydes and ketones, they've got the same aldehyde or a ketone. They've got the same molecular formula. The same general formula, I mean, just in simple terms. Okay, what if I give you this one and I say this is C2 and I say this is C2H6? Please tell me, what is the homologous series? Look carefully, guys. Don't guess. Again, I repeat for the millionth time. Look carefully. Don't guess. This molecular formula, the molecular formula of this compound is C2H6, meaning that it has got 2 carbons and 6 hydrogens in total. What homologous series does this belong to? Yes, no?
Okay.
Yes, no? What homologous series does this belong to? Okay, someone else, C2H6. That is the molecular formula.
Sorry, sir, it was my network.
It's an alkane.
Nonkulego says an alkane. Why?
So mawudraw yabe. Okay. So mawutsebheka le C carbon or the carbon le is now we have 2 carbons in it.
Yes, we have 2 carbons.
Oh yeah.
And then okushuthi laphana kule angithi le formula iqala ngokuthi H2n. Okushuthi if uyothi 2 la ku n ngithi uzo substitute ngo2. And then izokunikeza 4 but uyabona ukuthi lo H wakho unabo by6 abo H wakho okushuthi ku addwe ngo2 and then mawuyibhekisisa yonke lento it's C shuthi iformula yakhona it's CnH2n plus 2.
Yes, guys, that's excellent. You guys can see that here we've got 2 carbon atoms, right? And we've got 6 hydrogen atoms. How can you relate 2 with 6? It is clear that if you guys have been following our general formulas, you already know that this 2 is the number of carbon atoms. We usually use the letter N to represent it. Okay, it's the number of carbon atoms. So for you to get 6 from 2, you would have to say 2 times what? 2 times 2, which will give you ubani, which will give you 4. And then that 4 plus 2 would give you what? Would give you 6. So in other ways, basically your general formula, generally what you have done here, you've said 2 times the number of carbon atoms plus 2. And you guys already know that general formula to say when we have got CnH2n plus 2, how did we figure out here? We said 2 multiplied by the number of carbon atoms. So if the number of carbon atoms is given, if we multiply them by 2, then we add with 2, we are going to get the number of hydrogen atoms. And in this case, it clearly shows which it does work. If we say 2 times the number of carbon atoms, in this case, which is 2 plus 2, we get 6. That is generally the general formula for alkanes. Do you guys all see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, guys, please, these basics are very, very important. Today I was supposed to start with naming, but I'm already postponing naming again, just so that you guys get this. Alright, so this is definitely going to be a what? An alkane. The homologous series here is going to be an alkane. I'll give you one more, guys. Let's go and say this is C4 and then this is H6. Give me the homologous series to which this belongs. Take your time, look at it carefully. C4, H6. Look at the relationship between 4 and 6. So if 4 is your number of carbon atoms, how can you get this 6 by using this number of carbon atoms? Yes, Sam.
Alkynes, sir.
Yes, it's an alkyne, because if you say this 4 is the number of carbon atoms, and you say 2 times the number of carbon atoms, which is 4, minus 2, that's going to be 2 times 4, which is 8. 8 minus 2 will definitely give you 6. So basically, in other simple terms, for you to be able to obtain 6, which is the number of hydrogen atoms, you multiplied the number of carbon atoms by 2, then you subtracted 2 again. And that is generally the general formula for what? For alkynes. Because in alkynes, you say CnH2n minus 2. So basically, what does this general formula mean? I repeat for the millionth time. When you've got a certain number of carbon atoms, to find the number of hydrogen atoms, you say 2 times the number of carbon atoms minus 2. And this is exactly what we did here, guys, for this compound. So basically, we've already figured out that this will fall under what? This will fall under alkynes. This will fall under alkynes. Okay, let's do the last one, guys, so that I can give you this as homework. All right, so the last one that I'm going to give is going to be a C8H16O2. Let's hear it. To what homologous series does this compound belong to? I just give you a simple molecular formula. Yes, Sam.
So I'm still checking, but it's between ester and carboxylic.
Yes, ester or carboxylic acid, they have the same general formula. So this can be an ester or it can be a carboxylic acid. It can either be an ester or a carboxylic acid, because these ones, they've got the same general formula. You cannot really figure out which one is which. How did you figure that out, Sam? How did you find?
So I remembered the general formula for ester, then I realized which kinda is the same as carboxylic.
Yes, guys.
Formula.
If you look carefully here, guys, the number of carbon atoms, we are having 8 of them. So this is 8. That's the N. That's the number of carbon atoms. Then when you look at the number of hydrogen atoms in this molecular formula given, we're having 16. Guys, what's the relationship between 8 and 16? Or basically, how do we get 16 from 8?
Times by 2.
16.
Times by 2. So basically, this shows that the number of hydrogen atoms is 2 times the number of carbon atoms. So the number of carbon atoms that we have is 8. We multiply it by 2 to get 16 hydrogen atoms. So this already tells us that this is what? This is N to N. And then here we have got what? We have got O2. We have got 2 oxygens. There are only 2 homologous series that you will do in grade 12 that have got 2 oxygens in them, in their compounds. Okay, it's only esters and carboxylic acids. Are we guys clear what?
Yes, sir.
Yes, guys. I repeat again, make sure that you take your time to study, guys. If you're having problems, you tell me. If the timetable is too much, you tell me. Okay, if you're having trouble balancing things, we can make ways to always make sure that you balance things, because at the end of the day, this is supposed to benefit you. So if you guys don't come prepared next time and we are starting with naming, yet you guys don't understand the basics of molecular formula and general formula and homologous series, we are going to have a very big problem. You are going to have a very big problem. So it's your responsibility, guys, to go through this again. I will post the videos. If you don't understand something, I tell you guys to ask. And last time, guys, you didn't attend as many of you here in Thursday session. Like, there were few people who attended. That is why most of you guys are not even able to identify basic general formula and also the type of alcohols. We did that in the previous session, but less of you guys are attending. And that's a very concerning thing, because you guys, if you don't attend, you're going to have a problem. Watching videos, yes, you can watch videos indeed, but here you get a chance to question and ask where you don't understand. This is active learning, not passive learning. Watching videos is just a form of passive learning, and most of the times it's not guaranteed that you will understand the content fully, because you cannot even ask where you don't understand. So guys, have the discipline to go through your work, all your 4 subjects, all your 4 key subjects. Either you've got maths or maths literacy, or you've got life sciences or geography, whatever, all those subjects that you need to make sure that you give them all effort. That's the only way to pass. Otherwise, all of these lessons are gonna be useless for you if we are not going to progress. So let's close today's session, because we cannot proceed further since you guys still need to go to school tomorrow. So we need to cut down based on our time. So this is your homework. Practice this homework. This is compound A to E. This table here. This table says identify the homologous series to which of the following belongs. Write the general formula or the structural formula or the molecular formula. So you guys will just write the formula that is not presented here. For example, on compound A, we are given a structural formula. So you don't have to rewrite the structural formula again. You just tell us the homologous series and the general formula alone, and the molecular formula as well. Yes, Nonkuleo.
Since ne yabo kone question of people kati ne angithi sethisha sibhala lezi singekho kushuthi sobhala i-structural formula thisha makuyi let's say bafaka ama brackets ku condensed structural formula sakho, and then between or phakathi kwalama brackets if usino CH3 okushuthi i-branch, if usino CH2 yi-longest chain.
Okay, so must not say H2, it means it continues. It is still part of the main chain. It is still part of the main chain. But I will leave you guys to figure that out. Actually, it's a homework, by the way. I need you guys to go through your books and read through each and everything so that you can figure out each and everything for this homework. All right. You give the homologous series. The homologous series, you give the general formula. You also draw the structural formula where you don't have the structural formula. So without further ado, guys, let us close today's session, of course, with a prayer as always.
Peace out.
Yes, we are closing our eyes and our mics.
Okay, sir. Our Father who art in heaven, thank you, Lord. Thank you, God, for this day. Thank you for your blessings. Thank you for tutors. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for knowledge.